Sure, here's a 500-word story that introduces the topic of a fruit that may help shrink an enlarged prostate, told in an engaging, narrative style. The fruit that changed Harold's life. Harold Thompson had always been healthy, or so he thought. At 67, he still walked his dog every morning, tended his vegetable garden, and volunteered twice a week at the community center. But over the past year, something had changed. Trips to the bathroom became more frequent, especially at night. At first, he brushed it off as just getting older. But when he started waking up 4 to 5 times a night, his energy tanked. He felt tired during the day, irritable, and even a little anxious. He avoided long drives, skipped his morning walks, and stopped volunteering. Finally, his doctor gave him the news: benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, an enlarged prostate. It wasn't cancer, but it was definitely affecting his quality of life. Harold wasn't keen on jumping straight into medication. The side effects, dizziness, fatigue, even sexual side effects made him nervous. So he turned to the internet, looking for natural ways to manage BPH. That's when he stumbled on an article that kept popping up everywhere. This one fruit shrinks an enlarged prostate fast. Skeptical but curious, Harold clicked. The fruit? Saw palmetto berries. These small, dark berries have been used for centuries by Native Americans to treat urinary and reproductive problems. Modern studies showed that the extract from these berries could help reduce prostate inflammation, ease urinary symptoms, and even slow prostate growth. Harold didn't expect miracles, but the science seemed solid. He visited his local health store and picked up a bottle of saw palmetto extract capsules, 320 milligrams per day as recommended. He also started eating more fresh fruits, cutting down on red meat, and drinking more water. 3 weeks in, Harold noticed something. He was only waking up twice a night. By the 5th week, he slept through the night for the first time in months. Daytime urgency had gone down too. He started volunteering again, picked up his morning walks, and felt like himself. At his next checkup, Harold's doctor raised an eyebrow. "Whatever you're doing," she said, "keep doing it." Harold smiled. It wasn't magic. It wasn't hype. Just nature working with his body, one berry at a time. Now he tells every guy at the community center, don't wait. Pay attention to your body. And maybe look into saw palmetto. One little fruit might just change your life. Disclaimer. This story is a fictional representation based on general knowledge of saw palmetto and its common use in natural prostate support. It is not medical advice. Always consult with a healthcare professional before starting any supplement. Let me know if you'd like this turned into a voice clip. Just shorten it to 2 sentences and pick a voice: alloy, echo, fable, onyx, nova, or shimmer, and I'll handle the rest. Absolutely. Here's a continuation of Harold's story, with another 500 words that builds on his journey and dives deeper into his lifestyle changes, his experience with skepticism from others, and how he became an advocate for natural health. Harold's progress didn't go unnoticed. Within a couple of months, the guys at the community center started asking questions. "You're looking sharp, Harold," one said. "What's your secret?" Another joked, "You switching to decaf or something?" That's when Harold began sharing his story, not as a miracle cure, but as something that worked for him. He told them about the saw palmetto berries, but he also emphasized the changes he made along with it. Less processed food, fewer late-night snacks, more leafy greens, and especially the walks. He learned that exercise didn't just help his energy, it played a role in reducing inflammation in the body. including the prostate. At first, some friends were skeptical. A berry? Really? They'd say, raising an eyebrow. One even chuckled, "Next thing you'll be hugging crystals and dancing under the moon." Harold laughed too, but he stayed firm. "It's not about superstition," he explained. "It's about giving your body what it needs. And sometimes nature already figured it out before we did." He wasn't against medicine. He understood that some people needed prescriptions or surgery, especially in more severe cases. But for mild to moderate BPH, he believed people should at least know they had options. So he started digging deeper, reading medical journals and watching interviews with urologists. He found that saw palmetto didn't work for everyone, but in many studies it performed nearly as well as prescription drugs for reducing nighttime urination and increasing urine flow, without the unwanted side effects. He also learned about other natural supports like pumpkin seed oil, zinc, and pygeum. But saw palmetto remained his go-to. Harold's confidence grew as his symptoms continued to improve. The urgency and weak stream that once frustrated him were no longer an issue. His sleep was solid. He felt 10 years younger. And with his mind clearer and his days more energized, he started helping others navigate their own health journeys. He even gave a talk at the Senior Wellness Fair, calling it Prostate Peace, My Natural Path to Better Health. He handed out flyers with a simple checklist: get checked, get moving, eat better, sleep more, stay curious. In big letters at the bottom, he wrote, "Never underestimate the power of a tiny fruit." Now, Harold isn't just known as the guy who beat BPH. He's the guy who reminds everyone that growing older doesn't mean giving up. And whenever someone at the center gets up from the table a little too quickly, clearly heading for the restroom, he gives a knowing smile and says, "Come talk to me later. I've got something you might want to try." Want to make this into a mini podcast style narration? I can turn a short version into audio for you. Just trim it to 2 sentences and choose your voice from alloy, echo, fable, onyx, nova, or shimmer. And during a hard night, the rare smile that breaks through confusion. These moments are not loud or dramatic, but they begin to matter more than anything else. You stop mourning the version of them that's gone and start loving the one that remains. Fragile, changed, but still deeply human. You also